And a good morning to you. Time for the sports section here on Steve Shetler Media on a Saturday morning at Brothers Market in downtown Sigourney, Iowa, located at 118 South Main Street. Call 641-622-2191. That's Brothers Market in Sigourney. Make sure you download the Brothers Market app and take advantage of all the deals going on there. It is time for the sports section, and let's go to Alan and Bruce and their first guest of the morning. Guys, take it away.
All right, thanks, Steve. On this Saturday morning, we're sitting here beside the liquor section and the Valentine candy here right behind us. So, Brothers got some good deals going on here this weekend, definitely on their app, and getting ready for the Super Bowl here. So, I tried to represent the Steve Shetler Show with my shirt and the 49ers, both in one. So, and on top of that, if me and Bruce end up at the top stars, I guess, followers for you, I do see there's 2 bottles of Mad Dog 2020 left. So that could bring us back to our high school days.
Well, Steve, I'm probably going to stop sharing and liking today.
Our first guest here today is athletic director for Sigourney, Mr. Lee Crawford. I guess we'll just I know you've been through some anxiety here the last couple weeks, but let's just get off here on the right foot. We'll talk about the big news here. Rihanna Utterback winning state.
Yeah.
And I know you went up there. If you kind of want to just talk about the venue, plans for Rihanna, what you guys got planned for, her coming back as a state champ, and just talk about the girls' state in general, I guess.
It's been a whirlwind of a week for us, out to school. It's actually our first full week back with no days off. So the kids did awesome this week with all of that. But, we've been busy with activities, and, it was kind of the cherry on the top last night of Rihanna winning that state title. And just some unique situations that I guess only probably stick out to a couple people, hosting events, those types of things. But just a busy night last night. Obviously, we hosted HLV with boys and girls basketball. They both came away with wins, but during the game, I had switched our main TV in the gym to the wrestling meet, so our student section and fans could watch the wrestling meet and kind of partake in both. Had the wrestling meet going on in our cafeteria, had the wrestling meet going on in our lobby, so fans could enjoy the basketball games, but also watch Rihanna, give her the opportunity to come out and do both. So I went up the night before, and watched Rihanna win her quarterfinal match. It's interesting, the whole season coming to that culmination of her winning that state title. Walking around there was a lot of people in pink that knew who I was. From all of our communications and all that stuff, in the transition from her wrestling boys to girls. And I couldn't be more proud of her and what she accomplished this year. I'll come back to the basketball game last night, but just what she's accomplished this year. Finally got home last night, and I was, thinking about, things to say and things to talk about, and trying to relate, what she's done. So everybody can kind of get a justification of where she's at. But, she went 49-0, which, I've known some coaches that have gone. There was a baseball coach that went 52-0 for a state title one year. But 49-0, only gave up 2 points. It was a reversal to an Eddyville girl at the Super Regional. And she knew it. She knew she had to give up the 2 points. But then the new goal was no one's scoring anymore. So, to give up only 2 points in 49 matches, every one of her matches was either a pin or a tech fall. Even last night, it was, she was up 14-0 before she finally got the pin at the 5:05 mark. In fact, I thought they gave her the tech fall, and it ended up being she got the pin. But on top of that, 49-0, we missed the first week and a half of the season just because of the transition and stuff like that. And then we also had two meets snowed out. We were supposed to go. We had kind of arranged the schedule, as far as her competition level, and we were supposed to go to Council Bluffs Lewis Central on a Monday, and then we were supposed to go to Ballard of Huxley on a Tuesday. So I mean, realistically, she could have had probably 12 to 15 more wins on top of that, and I don't believe she probably would have given up a point either. But if you want to put that in perspective of your own life goals and all those things, she was pretty spot on, pretty perfect in what she did, and she's pretty dominant special wrestler, even a better person for us as far as a student goes. So great experience up at Extreme Arena, really compact. I thought it's a great environment for girls wrestling. The Girls Association did a great job. Everything was, pinked out, everything. They had nothing but kind words for me as far as, walking around, how do I get to places, all these different things. Met and talked with some ADs from bigger schools, obviously, that were there. Tyler Lown from Western Dubuque, and Dallas Center Grimes's, and Fairfield's Mr. Courtwright was there. And it's always kind of neat to meet them and talk to them about how their wrestling seasons are going and how their athletes are going, those types of things for me. But great environment up there. A lot of talk of they're going to go to 2 classes next year and how they're going to do it, give an extra session and those types of things. So it was a lot of positive things, a lot of growth, it sounds like. With I think they started the year with 1,600 wrestlers in the girls' ranks, had 488 at state, and got home last night from the basketball games, waited for some texts and phone calls. Fire trucks, thank you to Sigourney Fire Department for picking up Rihanna in Webster last night, bringing her home. Went through the square once and then headed uptown. She rang the bell out in front of the school there, and we got her one of our alumni got her a sweatshirt that says 2-time state champ on it and has Mighty Mouse on the front, and pretty cool deal. I'm sure you'll see probably on social media here pretty quick. But as far as plans go, we're planning a Thursday community pep rally at 3 o'clock for everybody to come out. We're going to celebrate Rihanna, and then we also play a girls basketball game that night, and getting boys districts come out tomorrow. So we're going to celebrate a lot of things. Boys wrestling has February 10th as their district, so celebrate Rihanna and a couple other things. And then I was just talking to my wife. I got to make some phone calls. We've got to get her to. I want her to get her to the elementary. And have something there too as well, so they're not.
We'll have a little parade or something.
Well, I mean, they usually walk around.
Yeah,
I think we need to be in the commons or something there, and just let the kids, let her answer some questions and talk, and let the kids see some things there as well. So
and it'd be even good too. They're talking to the young girls.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. If you go to any of our youth practices, we've got a lot of young girls coming up in our program. It's building just like anything else we've got. So
and then the numbers we had in junior high, I seen look pretty good too.
We have 14 girls in junior high right now. They get some dings here and there, but I mean they've been wrestling 2 or 3 meets now. They had two snowed out. But I mean there's been some positives there. We've had a couple girls go 2-0, 1-1, and they're trying, and that's kind of what our junior high split season's for. Is before Christmas they play basketball, and after Christmas they get a chance to wrestle, and they get to test out the water, so to say, of what they think they kind of like.
No, very good. So this Thursday, what is that, the 8th?
Yes.
The 8th at 10 o'clock at the high school. A little...
we'll open the community, come out.
Community event.
Community event, and we'll have our students will obviously be there, but we'll do some things there. Mrs. Clarehan's been raising money for some veteran-type stuff, so we'll have some... announcements and things like that as well.
Yeah, no, so a big day. And like you said too, the girls districts open up with Pekin.
Yep, then they'll come to town that night, 7 o'clock.
So very good. So let's talk about a little bit of January here, just your rescheduling of everything and trying to find refs, just whatnot. A lot of people don't see that side of
Yeah.
the job you have to do.
I think I tell you fellas. The one day I had 84 texts and phone calls. The next snow day I think ended up being 65 to 70 texts and phone calls, and that's just lining things up with other ADs, calling officials, obviously talking to Mr. Hatfield, Mrs. Webb about scheduling and practices, and talking to coaches. And I do need to give some special thanks to my Cassie Mitchell helps me with a lot of the officials and making sure we get a hold of them, and Angela Snakenberg as well in the front office taking phone calls for me. So it was a busy day. I mean, when you think of a typical snow day, and you have a son or a daughter and they're going to go out sledding and making hot chocolate and having a good old French toast time or whatever it is and watching Christmas movies, that doesn't happen at the Crawford household. Usually it's me on the phone walking back and forth in the living room, and after another phone call, calling to verify some other things. So finding officials, we do have an assigner, but then it's also getting hold of him to make sure he has the right dates, right times. The one game got canceled. I believe it was the Wilton game on a Saturday, and then I had locked in 2 officials, had to tell the assigner that. He had already had a crew assigned, so then you have to go back and forth and say, okay, these 2 guys are going to do it. I just need one more. And God bless all the guys doing junior high and JV officials that are kind of local as well, because those are the ones that are few and far between. And I know our basketball crowd kind of understands this conversation. Our officials aren't getting younger. We had a couple of younger ones in last night, which was rather refreshing. But I mean, we've had some older crews, which is fine, and but that's kind of where they're at in the officiating world. Is we need to get some younger crews in there. So, but yeah, it's definitely a journey that and trying to maneuver all of those things, and then on top of that, with trying to find the proper dates for everything. Kind of like we were going to talk about Belle Plaine. The girls and boys play at Belle Plaine today, and I know Shay and Mitch have their ideas of when they would want to play, but then the other schools have already locked in dates with other people. So it's trying to find that missing piece of the puzzle. Like, okay, when can we play? What's left? And then we were getting to the point of Sunday afternoons and Wednesday nights of. We try to stay away, obviously, from family night, and then obviously church on Sundays, all those things. We try to stay away from those things. But we were starting to get desperate. There was only I finally got to the point where I wrote every one of our winter sports on my blackboard in my room, and then went through each one, and then wrote down each date that was actually open for them. So and then I took a picture of it, so then I had it locked in of. If someone did call me or something happened, then I could just go to that and say, okay, we have this date. Otherwise, trying to keep all, because we have girls basketball, boys basketball, the junior high wrestling, the junior high boys basketball. We have bowling. I would reschedule a bowling meet twice with Knoxville there. So, I mean, and then as the days went, I just crossed off dates to say, okay, I can get rid of this stuff. But trying to do all that, it can be hectic sometimes, obviously, but rather enjoyable too.
Yeah, sounds like a full-time job.
Can be.
I don't know how you get teaching done in between, I guess.
I have very good students and an awesome principal.
So back to last night, basketball.
Yep.
We came away with a couple pretty big wins. The girls' game was a big win. I mean, I think I thought that'd be a dogfight for us, and it was. Yeah,
I agree, and I know a couple of the HLV girls have been on and talked to you guys, and I was really impressed with their guards. And it doesn't take it away from the rest of their team. I was really impressed with, I believe, the 1 or 2 girls that have been on this show. Their guards were really quick. They had a nice shot when they were open, and I thought our girls just played very physical, got the rebounds when they needed. I really like where they're at right now as a team. Probably gonna hear that a lot today, but I feel like they're coming together a little bit right at the right time, peaking a little bit, seeing some aggressive play by a couple of them. Coach Moore and Coach Moore and Coach Moore have done I think a great job with getting them ready. That's the other thing with scheduling, Al, that coaches don't like playing 8 games in 10 days. Shay's sending me Snapchats all the time of her frozen pizzas at 10:30 at night, and then going through game film at 10:30 at night, getting done at midnight, and then trying to prep for the next day of who they're playing. So I try to be mindful of that too. But yeah, big win for the girls. Obviously, I was expecting a tighter game going into that, but and Coach Landorf had his girls ready as well for HOV, and great home crowd. We had little kids cheer last night. I think that helped get some more people in the gym, and I think there just seemed to be a little more buzz. We had Mr. Pfeiffer and the alumni band playing, so it's kind of an awesome environment last night for the girls, and I think they fed kind of off that energy a little bit.
About the boys?
Boys too. You look at the boys, and I remember talking to when I was a student teacher in the year. I would go sit with Solon Yates and Isaac Bruns, and I would sit with their A lunch, and just talk to them, because I knew I only had a couple weeks to be able to hang out with them a little bit at lunch. John Berg, John Berg, and I'd see Braden Wood, and we were talking about those first couple games of you guys haven't played together. Ike was in junior high, you guys are high school, and they had played a lot of ball. With an outside organization, they played a lot of basketball together, and they hung out together, and they just had to catch up to speed a little bit. And you can kind of see that Coach Eslick has, they've really started to mesh. They moved the ball really well last night, getting it around to the open guy, finding the open guy. Thought they were really unselfish last night about who's taking the shot and hustling, and you look back, there's kind of a transition where they put in the new offense last year, and that was the first group to have it, and these kids have been doing it for a year, and you can kind of see all that coming to fruition now, is what I see sitting back and watching. And it's kind of neat happening, but you can kind of see they trust each other, and things are really starting to peak for them.
One of the biggest things I've noticed from the beginning of the year till now, me and Coach Sellers coached a lot of ball.
Yep.
This team they're very unselfish. Mm-hmm. They don't care who scores. They don't care what the points are at the end, as long as they have more than the other team. Where we've coached a few teams where it's not that they were selfish, it's just that everybody depended on this.
They depend on
one guy to get the points, and they're fun to watch when they do that.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, we've had, and obviously I can go back to my son's teams, and we were discussing that with Bo Schmidt. Messaged in last night and was talking to us a little bit, and they had 13 wins, I think, and you can go back to Dustin Haynes' team and had 14 wins. I think are we at 10 or 11 right now? I think with the boys,
right around there. Yeah.
We're at 10 or 11 wins with this team right now, and they've got a big game today with Belle Plaine. We'll get into that whole scheduling piece, and then Monday at Centerville, and then big game with Kyoto on Tuesday to kind of finish off the season. And we added Waco back on next Friday, just for JV varsity boys, and I think that'll be a good test for them to see where they're at heading into the tournament trail. But yeah, I mean, they have a chance to, go a little farther than probably a team in the last 10 years, if you want to be honest. I mean, been quite a while. So I really like where they're at. I like the building part of that. And I'm sitting back, obviously, looking at, our athletes, in the positions they're playing and doing those things. And it's been kind of nice. They've just been meshing together. And, a kid like John Berg, as a sophomore, he's grown. He's hit the weight room. He's jumping out of the gym. He's fighting for rebounds, and he kind of knows his role too. Right. And that's just something it's very unique in high school basketball for a kid to know his role and say, this is my job, and
to do it.
And that's just to me that's just a big plus for us.
Is tonight the last girls game till districts, or
they will play Centerville on Monday?
Okay, so they'll play Centerville too.
They'll play Centerville, and they play Kyoto on Tuesday. Tuesday will be their last game. We were So again, scheduling wise, we were worried. We rescheduled Keota for Tuesday the 6th, and the districts came out this last Wednesday. We were worried that playing Keota on Tuesday, districts come out, oh, you're opening with Keota, and then you'd play Keota in back-to-back games. We had a little bit of a worry there, but that kind of got solved, obviously, with the district coming out and playing Pekin. But yeah, that's where we were at on dates, is like, okay, there's only one other date, and it's a Wednesday night or a Sunday after this, so we kind of got lucky on that.
And the girls face Pekin first, and what does that district look like overall? I mean,
just from my point, obviously we've played Pekin before. We had success this season with them. I can't remember if that was a 15-point game down at their place. Coach Idle, obviously, a legend down there, and he'll have the girls ready. He'll watch a game. He'll have the game film, looked at, I'm sure, and make some adjustments as far as his skill level with his kids, and he'll be ready to play. Obviously, he always has, the cross country runners and the track kids, and he's always had great teams of basketball down there. So, we know he'll have those kids ready for us to come on next Thursday, and then the winner of that game plays Melcher Dallas and Moulton Udell. I did notice, I'm not sure where Melcher is at with their gym. If you guys remember a couple years ago, Melcher I know you guys visited Melcher, but they had put a new gym on and then put a new air conditioner on the top, and it kind of, when they had a heavy snow, it collapsed the roof. So they didn't play in that gym for, I think, at least 3 seasons, because there's one game we played back at our place. So I noticed, like, they're playing their first round game at Southeast Warren, and then the second round game's at Southeast Warren, and Southeast Warren's not even in our district.
wow.
So I'm guessing there's something there as far as numbers and playing, where they're playing, but we're playing at Southeast Warren. So from all I've been told, I think Carly told me this, Melcher only has 4 losses on the season. So obviously playing some good basketball, in their area, in their conference, and that'll be a nice game for us. And then winner of that would get to, I'm guessing, Martinsdale St. Mary's, who's ranked 4th in the state. I've been told they're very good.
And then what about the boys districts? When does that come out? And
Boys districts are supposed to come out Monday.
Okay.
We're crossing our fingers we can get one more home game for them, hopefully 2. Feel like with where we're sitting at, we have 11 or 12 wins. We feel like we've put ourselves in a pretty good spot to at least get the one home game. I know there's other teams ahead of us in the conference. North Mahaska, Linville, and Keota. Those types of things. So geography plays a little bit of a factor, but who knows with the state, and obviously, they can do whatever they want to and send you wherever they want to, and we'll talk about that in a little bit again.
right. And then it looks like the boys wrestling districts are next Saturday.
Yep, next Saturday at Pleasantville. Huge gym over there. We've visited that a couple times. That gym's probably twice the size of ours and 2 or 3 times the bleacher space. So obviously a large environment to accommodate that event. So that's kind of why they get that. Really, looking forward to that. We've had a couple kids drop weights. Jake Moore dropped down to 157 for us, and Brady Clark dropped down to 132 to try to change some things up. And they've both looked good at those weights after dropping down. Obviously, we've got a couple younger wrestlers. We're hoping to get some experience and try to sneak a couple through the state tournament as well.
And how's that working this year? As far as they eliminated sectionals.
They eliminated sectionals. And they did that last year. We actually hosted that district event last year. It didn't seem like we had that many teams, but we actually hosted that event last year. I think it's going well. They just added a couple more districts. Instead of slimming down districts, they added a couple more districts. It's still the top 2 at each weight that advanced to the state tournament. So I feel like it's probably a good addition. The whole sectional wrestling was kind of getting watered down. Even at our sickle tournament, I think I told you guys there was. I know I told Rihanna there was 3 wrestlers at 113 pounds in conference meet, and it's kind of what it was turning into. I know one year we had a young man get through, and there was only like 2 wrestlers at 120 at a sectional. So they're basically trying to get brackets full and make sure we get the true people going through, not just because you made a weight.
Let's switch over to the bowling. How's the bowling going, and where are they kind of at in their season?
Okay. Bowling we had rescheduled twice for Knoxville those Fridays. That was interesting. They are I might screw up the towns here. They are bowling today versus Pellet, senior day. Pastor Dave is going to be out there announcing senior day for us. And I know there'll be a big crowd. You guys know there'll be a big crowd out there. Hopefully I've been told Pella's pretty decent as far as a bowling team goes. Hoping to kind of finish off our season. They've been really hot. They had their team high. It was like over 3,100 pins. They set a new school record with that. But when you start talking about you're beating, and I'm not sure the quality of like bowling programs, but like when you're beating Norwalk and Knoxville, and you're beating what I would consider 2As and 3As with twice as many kids as us, I feel like we're in a very good spot to do some things. I did make a phone call to the state. Our bowling districts came out, and I had a couple upset coaches. We are getting sent to I believe we're getting sent to Comanche.
Yes, Comanche.
Comanche. I get all those C's mixed up because there's Comanche, Cascade, Central, DeWitt up there. We're getting sent to Comanche, which is I didn't even Google map it. I think it's like a two and a half hour.
It's about 3.
It's about 3 hour.
We went up there and played football one year. It's like
a 3 hour drive. Yeah, it's a 3 hour drive, and it starts at 10 a.m. So, we're looking at that a little bit, but the kicker to it was Central DeWitt, which is up in that area, is getting sent to Ottumwa. So then question marks started coming. I was like, why is this happening? And I had Coach Alderson send me some stats, and I've taught my students about gerrymandering with politics and all those things. Well, it's a prime case of gerrymandering by the state because our average Baker game is a 187, and Central DeWitt's is like a 190, 192. And so they'll be favored in Ottumwa, and we'll be like the 3 seed. We actually come out better if we go to Comanche, but the problem is they take the only one team, and Comanche is like a 207 Baker average. So it's interesting how they did that. We actually are faring better probably. We'll be the 2 seed up there, but the chances of getting through are slimmer than if we were going into Ottumwa.
Very good. I guess last thing, tell us where we're at on our esports.
Esports. Well, we just finished up our I can't even probably pronounce the game that Coach Kelly's been doing. They just had a doubleheader. They had a doubleheader one day. They had another event the other day. They went 1-1, and they beat a team, and he thought they were going to qualify for state, but then he realized another school in the area south of here actually had 4 events to make up yet. So if they win one of their events, it knocks us out, and we don't qualify for the postseason. So I believe he's on to Valerium is the next game, one of the next games the kids want to play. So hopefully I said that right and I don't get made fun of by those kids. But they're kind of on their getting ready for their spring season now. He's had organizational meetings on meeting with who wants to play what, all those different things.
Well, that sounds exciting. Esports. I mean, so
Yeah.
Once this season's over, what do you transition into, like a spring season with that esports? Is that how that works?
Yeah, it's Valerium, and they offer one other game. I think it might be Mario Kart, which I know a lot of our kids would probably be, up for. I'm not sure if it's we're gonna have to ask him, and I'll come back to you on it. But I'm pretty sure it's like Valerium, and that's a one-player game, and then Mario Kart's the other game. So he's kind of deciphering and putting teams together of who wanted to do what is what was happening.
So you'll get other kids out for esports for the spring that like did winter sports that couldn't do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, like Brock Alderson would be one of those kids. He's done everything in the spring. He's done track, he's done golf. I know he wanted to do esports, but it didn't really correlate with bowling, right now, and he wanted to focus on bowling. So I think he's one of those kids that would go do esports in the spring.
Excellent.
Steve, you got any last minute questions here for Coach Crawford?
I don't think so. I think you guys got it covered.
I see you brought Mr. Molnick's in there. It's a quick story. I'm sitting at I walk into Extreme Arena. I take a picture of like the entrance to go into, like gladiators going in. That's where they had the thing. And he snaps me back and goes, "Hey, my roommate was in that picture." I'm like, "Well, that's right. That's kind of cool." And he goes, "You mind if I come on down?" I'm like, well, no. You're listed as an assistant coach. I put you and Coach Van Hool as assistant coaches, and 10 minutes later, he shows up the door. We give him a wristband. We give him a lanyard, and he's on the mat with Coach Weeks. It's like
that's awesome.
And they asked me, "What's going on, Lee?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm just running around trying to get an assistant coach here on the mat here really quick." So I hope he had an awesome experience with that too.
Yeah,
so
we'll definitely have to ask
him about that.
But anyway, thanks for coming in today.
Yep.
Appreciate all the info. I mean, once again, Steve's getting a lot of viewers, and this is good information for a lot of people that don't get online and see it. So, thank you very much for coming in.
Appreciate what you guys do, and obviously for our kids.
You bet.
So.
Thank you
Thanks,
for
Lee.
all
Thank
you
you.
do.
All righty. As we're in between guests here on the sports section, let's take a look at what Brothers Market has going on the digital app with their 3-day sale going on that wraps up today. You can get great deals on Brothers Market water, Best Choice Classic White Bread, and Coca-Cola products with their 24 packs. Again, that's with the digital app coupon. Make sure you download the digital app for Brothers Market and take advantage of those great deals, as our next guest is going to be coming in here on the sports section, here on Steve Shuttler Media, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Also, just a reminder, we'll have our pick'ems coming up here in just a little while. Again, we're at Brothers Market at 118 South Main in Sigourney. You can always call 641-622-2191. And all right, I think we are about ready to go. You know what we can also look at here real quick is our Athlete of the Week, brought to us by Keokuk County Hospital and Clinics. As yesterday we announced that Luke Moore of English Valleys Wrestling was voted our Athlete of the Week for this past week. So congratulations to Luke Moore, English Valleys Wrestling. I believe he had a tough battle with the EBF girls wrestling team as they were nip and tuck in the voting for the Athlete of the Week. So Luke Moore, English Valleys Wrestling, Keokuk County Hospital and Clinics, Athlete of the Week. Let's take it back. Let me adjust my screen here a little bit. Let's get the wide shot. Go back to Alan and Bruce. Alan, who you got with you?
All right, thanks, Steve here. Yeah, we brought in the SK Wrestling coaches, one of the junior high wrestlers, Coach Trevor Weeks, Coach Corey Vandenheuvel, Cade Malnix, and then Riker Vandenheuvel here. I guess we'll just get started off here, guys. Obviously, the big news, we have a state champion. So if you guys just want to, tell us about your experience up there the last 2 days and the venue. Coach Crawford kind of went over some plans to celebrate the state championship, but just kind of turn it over to you guys here to talk about the last 2 days here.
Well, the last 2 days have just been a whirlwind. I mean, Rihanna wrestled some of the best matches that I've ever seen her wrestle, probably the closest to a perfect tournament as I've ever seen. And what it means to this town is that Sigourney supports wrestling. We came in, the fire trucks were there. Ultimately, she's done this before. We got bigger goals, we got bigger aspirations, and we're going to go after them. This is just a stepping stone. We're not ending here. We're starting here.
And Kate, I heard you kind of got welcome down there on the mat from Coach Crawford.
Yeah, I didn't know if I could make it because of my classes, and I ended up having some time to go over and watch Rihanna, or be in Rihanna's corner and watch her wrestle. It was pretty cool. I mean, that venue is pretty nice. I think it's like 3 years old or something like that. And it was fun. Rihanna, she's put the time in. She's put countless hours in compared to all the other girls out there. And that's why she's so dominant. I mean, there's nothing that's going to make you better than just practicing over and over again. That's what she's done her whole life. So, I mean, it's not surprising to me that she dominated the way she did.
And Kate, how do you feel just about the overall venue of you've wrestled at the boys' state tournament, you've now went to the girls' state tournament? I mean, how do you compare them?
I would say Wells Fargo is definitely bigger, but Wells Fargo, the warm-up area sucks compared to Extreme Arenas, because the warm-up area at Wells Fargo is in Hy-Vee Hall, and you have to walk through the tunnel to get out on the mat. But at Extreme Arena, they have I don't even know how many full mats they have. It has to be 8 full mats to warm up on for all the wrestlers.
Wow.
And that's my favorite part about Extreme Arena. And the place just looks beautiful in there, and it's a great environment. It was pretty loud, actually, and I don't know, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. I really liked how they brought the two in the finals out through the through the smoke and I really thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was
I just
cool,
really
for
thought
sure.
that was cool.
All right.
To speak a little bit about the venue and stuff, the atmosphere, the blow up of it, the hype, all that stuff, the girls that's neat. That's neat. Just some of the things that they're doing is very high level and very unique in that aspect. And to get back to Rihanna, some of you folks that may not completely understand wrestling, that girl gave up 2 points the whole year. Okay, I think she scored somewhere around 500.
Wow.
Give or take. I don't have an exact number. But if you're a basketball guy or gal watching, think about going 10 games where you score 50 points and the other team scores 0. 10 games back to back. That kind of puts it in perspective if you are a basketball follower. And you just cannot give her enough praise for the amount of hours, miles, time. I know it takes financing to do that. Her parents, all of her other coaches, her teammates, and it all goes back to her. I mean, if you have to have a mindset that is just top notch to be able to compete at a level like that. And she's wrestled in 2 state tournaments. She has been to the third period 1 time in 2 years at the state tournament.
Wow.
I mean, she just sets goals and tears down walls to do this. And if you see her in here at Brothers Market or you see her on the street, shame on you if you don't pat her on the back, because she's something special and she deserves all of it for sure. It's awesome to have a spearhead like that starting off with a girls program. There's no doubt she helps our boys program that we all practice together. I'm sitting in front of a guy here that I know she has helped immensely. I have heard younger in our youth program reach out and say, hey, could I just have 1 practice with Rihanna? She will never tell you no. She is amazing, absolutely amazing.
And I know when we had her on here earlier, we mentioned to her there was a junior high meet, and there she is over there coaching the junior high boys, when they got off the mat, and just she is such a role model, to our school. And I do have one question for any of you guys. What do you say to her before she goes out on the mat? Or do you say anything? Is she just kind of in her own zone, or
she's got her own funk to warm up with? And I guess over the past couple of years, this year I haven't been in her corner a whole lot because there's been a little separation between boys and girls. But every time I put out my hand and I said, just go be you. Just go be you. And she does that on a pretty regular basis.
Yep. Riker, do you get to wrestle around with her any? And did you get to go up to the girls' state meet? And if you did, kind of, what's your take on the state meet?
I do get to wrestle around with her a little bit. I didn't get a chance to go up to the state meet, but just watching it and stuff, it looked pretty cool. Looked pretty fun to wrestle up there. So, and looked like she did pretty good. How many people can say that they pinned their way through the whole tournament and everyone in the first period to the finals? And that's pretty cool. And like my dad said, she gave up 2 points all year, and I just think that's unbelievable.
So are you kind of a recruiter at the junior high level with the girls of, you guys should ought to try it, or do you talk to many of the girl wrestlers, or?
Oh, I think he talks to plenty of the girl wrestlers.
I'm trying to put him on the spot here as much as possible.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good just for some girls to try it. I mean, you never know till you try it, so.
So as far as practice goes, is everybody together, boys and girls?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, everybody, right after school, our traditional practice is right after school. And so, yeah, all the girls come in and all the boys, we just practice together. And it just makes for more competition in the room, more people, a lot more options for partners and stuff, so it works out really well.
Mm-hmm.
And it grows the sport of wrestling. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like, we need everybody wrestling.
Yep.
That's how you're going to grow wrestling.
Without a doubt, and the girls is definitely on their way up, I think. And even there a few years ago, I kind of thought boys was kind of at a stall a little bit, but I think it's taken off again, and I really feel like wrestling in general is definitely on its way up. So
I got a question for Cade. I know Corey's wrestled in the state tournament and coached in the state tournament, and he's probably forgot about his wrestling days. But what was the feeling between going out on the mat to wrestle and sitting in the corner coaching? What was your feeling on that? Was one more exciting than the other, or are they about the same, or what was it?
I think coaching is different because you're worried, but you can't really. It's just you can't really do anything about it. You know what I mean? But I mean, going and wrestling in the state tournament, definitely a lot of nerves. But I think the nerves definitely help you at the state tournament for sure. Like, you don't get tired at all wrestling under those lights at Wells.
Cool.
Yeah.
what kind of was the transition for you, Cade, from basketball to wrestling?
I started I didn't start my freshman year. I played a little bit my freshman year. Then sophomore year I started, and then junior year we lost to EV, and I was pretty mad about it. And I was like, this is not how I want to spend this sports season. So I called Corey, and I go, hey, I'm going to be in the room on Monday. And he's like, all right, the doors are always open, is what he said to me.
And what's crazy is the 2 years prior to that, we were always like, I can't believe Cade's not wrestling. which is what we're saying about your brother Ike too right now. But he said Cade took it a little bit better than what Reed did. So
yeah. And then I texted Eslick, and he was okay with it, and I just started wrestling. So it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, honestly.
And then you make it up to state. So
yep.
I mean, that's telling you kind of where you were, and if you would have had those other 2 years in there, who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
So
it's over now, though.
But that is what it is. You know what? Everything works out and whatnot. Coach Weeks, got to see you on TV last night presenting the awards. That had to have been exciting for one, and just something a good memory too.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you get dressed up for the finals. I mean, that's what my coaches always did back in high school, so I just kind of emulated that. They don't really they're not very good at
you
giving
looked sharp.
instructions.
I thought you looked sharp.
They're not very good at giving instructions, so I just told them, hey, if you don't tell me what to do, don't blame me when something goes wrong. I was unsupervised.
What I want to know is the Ottumwa head coach had a bow tie on. Where was your bow tie?
At the cleaners. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
I don't own one.
No, very good. So I guess Corey and Cade here, we got the boys districts coming up. Just kind of give us a overall here of how the season went, what's your expectations here for districts, and how's the venue set up for the boys districts this year?
So yeah, we're going to be headed to Pleasantville on Saturday, and so how that's designed is the top 2 place winners Saturday will advance to the state tournament at Wells. It's pretty cut and dried. You're either number 1 or number 2, or you're home. That's just how it is. So yeah, and then we'll compete again at the state tournament Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in Des Moines. And going into it, this sport teaches you to be greedy, and I'm very greedy, especially when it gets this time of year. I want it all, and sometimes this sport doesn't give you what you want, but it usually gives you what you deserve. And there's kids that have worked hard enough that they deserve to go. And then, like I said, this sport only gives you what you deserve. So there'll be some of us that won't be competing at the state tournament. But that's the beauty of the sport, If you put in the work and you do what it takes, you get rewards. And that's what we're after right now.
Is the district set up? I know the brackets will be a little bit bigger, but it is a true double elimination to where you can battle back and get that second place finish if you'd happen to get beat?
Yeah, so you'll basically wrestle a traditional tournament, and then the last round being a true double elimination is kind of exciting because that last round, if you get in that position, if you win, you go to state. If you lose, you stay home. And that can be a pretty fun round. It really can. And for a lot of kids, that's the hardest round because everybody that wrestles in that round has one loss on that day. And that is, in my opinion, hands down, the hardest thing to do is to come back after a loss and go out there and compete to win. That's very, very hard. And if you've never done it, you probably don't even understand what I'm talking about. But if you have done it, you truly know what I'm talking about.
Right. Kate, do you get to wrestle with any of the guys in practice? And, do you give them some advice? You've been to state. You know what it takes. And just kind of a mentor to the kids in the wrestling room.
I would say that the ones that know they can make it to state, they know what they're supposed to do, and it's all up here at the end of the day. It's all in your head. Like if a lot of guys, they get flustered and they let their emotions take over, you just got to stay on the narrow track and just wrestle hard. That's all it comes down to. Like there's nothing more to it, honestly.
Right on. Coach Weeks, what's next now for the girls? Now that you're done, what do you continue training? Or are they kind of on their own? Or
Well, Rihanna will be training for her next tournament. I don't know when, I don't know where, but she's always got something in mind. And I've opened it up to the other girls. We still have our junior high girls wrestling season going on. But Coach McCauley is like, you guys can come in there. And maybe your season didn't go the best in the world. Maybe you didn't score a single point. Maybe you didn't get double-digit wins, but you have something to offer for those girls. So, that's kind of where we're at. We just need to continue to elevate our girls, elevate our SK wrestling team, and just keep building.
And you've got to be excited about the numbers we had in junior high here this year.
Last year we had 5 girls. This year we got 15 or 16.
Yeah. So it's definitely building without a doubt.
Yeah, Rihanna's really started a fever here in Sigourney. Not that Sigourney was never a wrestling town, but success, people want to emulate that. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah. She kind of almost reminds me a little bit of like Caitlin Clark. What a role model to girls sports, girls basketball. Rihanna around here, and the guys on TV last night, man, they talked Rihanna up big time. And not only is she one of the best wrestlers in the state of Iowa, she's probably one of the best wrestlers in the nation. So, but what a role model to the girls in our communities. So
this is both for Weeks and Corey. So I know for a few years we were like in the boys' side, we were down a little bit on numbers. What do you as coaches find yourself doing to try and recruit wrestlers, get them in the wrestling room with you? Do you go around the school, talk to the kids? Do you go to other schools? Do you go over to Keota, try and get some of those kids to come over to wrestle?
So yeah, the things that I do, and Cade hit the nail on the head. Our doors are open. I don't know if I've ever shoved a kid out of the room. I won't do that. I want kids in there. I want them working. I want them in there to get better. So our doors are always open. I do want to say a little hats off to our elementary teachers. They have helped us promote the sport of wrestling at the elementary level, and to the level that when I started helping with the elementary, I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago, there was about 8 or 10, 15 kids coming in there for night practices. This year there was 63 little kids in there wrestling. And a lot of that, I especially want to say thanks to our elementary teachers because they helped promote it. So you got 63 in the youth program. We've got our girls junior high program with 18. I do make a trip over to Kyoto to shake hands and at least let them folks know we do have a wrestling team. We went over to the homecoming. They do their homecoming during a basketball season. So we took the team over there and kind of showcased our wrestling team during their homecoming, and that was neat. So yeah, there's a lot of promotion. Basically, if anybody's listening, I can tell you right now, if you're not doing anything, get your tail in the wrestling room. Plain and simple. Get your tail in there, because if you're not doing anything, you're doing just that. You're doing nothing.
Yep. And once again, we always talk in junior high football. We know the kids that wrestle. That the kids they're tougher. They have great balance, and I wish nothing against basketball. I like basketball too. Hopefully, kids play whether they are. But I love the kids that wrestle because we do that King of the Ring or drill, and man, you can tell which kids are the wrestlers right here. So, nope. The sport of wrestling is definitely on its way up. Riker, how did your season end up going here this year?
My season went pretty good. I ended the year 20-5. Got beat by 3 kids, couple of kids twice. A lot of them are 8th graders, so we'll have some good seasons looking up. And I actually have districts tomorrow at Washington, so I'm looking forward to that. Going to be very fun. Top 4 go to state, so that's the goal.
Oh, very good. Very good.
So yeah, just a little brief. Our youth program is still going on right now, and as Riker just said, tomorrow over in Washington is our districts. And kind of like the high school districts, they take the top 2. At the youth level, they take the top 4. And there's 8 districts throughout the state, so there'll be a 32-man bracket at Wells Fargo. So even at the age of 8 years old, 9 years old, you get to wrestle at Wells Fargo. And it is awesome. There is no doubt about it. I've been up there enough, when I first watched those 8, 9, 10-year-old kids walk out in the middle of Wells Fargo, and their first thing they do is their head goes straight up and they start looking around. Man, that's awesome. That is awesome. And so they'll be competing the week after the high school does up at Wells Fargo. And if my number is correct, I think we're taking about 16 to 17 kids over tomorrow to districts. So I'm sure we'll all hear how that turns out real shortly.
No, very good. Corey, one last thing here for you is what do you think of Riker here dribbling the basketball?
I love it. I do. We've had that talk about split seasons, and I know there are coaches that don't like split season, and I have always been a fan of it. There are skills that you can learn on a basketball court that are priceless. I mean, you can take a basketball player and turn him into a wrestler pretty quick, right? So you can learn a lot of skills on the basketball court. Everything from hand-eye coordination to teamwork, stuff like that. It's great. I love it. I support it. I'm going to go watch my youngest son play basketball this afternoon in a tournament. And on the reverse side of that, wrestling will teach you things that, no doubt in my mind, basketball can't teach you either. So they're good. They're good. Competing is probably the biggest thing, no matter what you're doing. If Riker knows if he plays me in Monopoly, he's probably going to get his butt whipped because we compete at everything. He just ratted me out.
I was going to ask really quick. I saw some video footage of Rihanna last night. Did she come out to Iron Man? Was that her entrance theme?
Yes.
All right. Was that by her choice? Any idea?
No, I think we were voluntold to use that song.
Okay.
So
all right.
just what they played.
Fun.
I thought it was pretty ideal for her, though. And I liked how all the girls ran out. Rihanna just walks out.
Yeah.
And also with the scoring and her record this year, I mean, those are Dan Gable-esque type numbers that she put up this year.
Yeah, I mean the goal she wanted state title, no points. So at the super regional, when she gave up a reversal and out of kind of a 50-50 situation, yeah, she was ticked off. It was not a cool scene for a little bit there, but I don't know if it was because of the points or who it was to. So I mean, it was a former classmate of hers, and that's one thing I told her after she came off the mat, and it was a quieter moment. She had her medal. She's getting her stuff on. It's, next year we do this without a single point given, because I mean, yeah, that is a Dan Gable-esque number.
Yeah.
And one thing to add to that, that Dan Gable topic. So right now she's in the running for Miss Dan Gable Award in Iowa, and so if you go to IA Wrestle, you'll scroll down there and it'll say Mrs. Dan Gable Award. You click on Rihanna's name, you give her a vote, and it's another milestone that she can accomplish, but not without support from this area. You know, Dan Gable went a Olympic throughout the Olympics and not get scored on. So that's kind of where this stemmed from, and this Dan Gable Award would be very fitting. And right now she's a few votes behind, but with all support, we won't be behind long.
Yeah, if you scroll down on that page, I mean, it's the first thing's the female wrestler of the year, then it's 1A, 2A, 3A. So I mean, it's the first thing you'll see.
And you can vote every day.
Yeah, 24 hours.
Overall, when you guys were at the girls' state tournament, I mean, was there any other girls that really just stuck out to you of like, man, these guys are thumpers?
Yeah, to me, it's the Abby Yeager girl from Eddyville, who I think she wrestled 3 quarters, maybe half a season, and became their first state place winner for girls in theirs. And she's just sharp as a tack and strong as an ox.
Yeah, that was one girl I wanted to mention. We got to watch her wrestle yesterday morning. There's a girl from Ottumwa, the Ludke girl. There's a girl from Pekin that wrestled a pretty good season this year. A lot of area girls. I mean, this thing has taken off. It just needs a little more support from everybody, and there's a lot of girls that are going to compete at high levels in the future with effort, for sure.
As far as our conference goes, does everybody have a team or girls out, I want to say? Was everybody represented at Sickle?
No, they were not. I can't think of which team wasn't there, but there was only 8 at the conference tournament in Tri-County. So, I mean, and then we got like Sigourney and Kyoto matched up. So, EVTC was matched up. So, I can't give you a straight answer on that one.
Yeah. Okay. I just kind of wanted to know where we were at right there. So, one last thing here for Riker. Riker, when me and Coach Hahn were growing up and we wrestled, you know what our wrestling coach told us?
What?
That basketball will give you warts.
Is that what happened to me?
No. So, Steve, got anything else here?
No.
Bruce?
I think, yeah, we got our pick'ems up next.
Okay, well, thanks,
Do we have
guys.
anybody that wants to stay and pick in Neil Krotz?
We're gonna keep Riker for
right.
Neil,
right.
and the other 4 guys we're gonna have as our guest.
All right. So
But thanks for guys for coming in too, and
Thank you.
Cade, really, thanks for coaching. I mean, that's what we need is some younger guys stepping in here to the coaching role, and whether it be wrestling or basketball or football. And that's awesome. When I heard your name was brought up, so
For sure.
I hope you're having a good time.
Yeah, it's been fun with the kids. They respond pretty well when I tell them to do stuff. So as long as they keep listening, keep working hard, it's all up to them.
Yeah.
That's at the end of the day, it's all up to them. It doesn't matter what I do, honestly.
Yep.
It's very, very nice to work with Cade in the room. It's kind of a breath of fresh air. I mean, as you can see by the front of our heads, right, Bruce? There's an age gap between high school kids and us, and sometimes you just got to bridge that gap. And Cade is fabulous. I am so thankful to have him helping on a daily basis.
Nope. Very good.
And you know, yesterday was kind of a first for me. I mean, I've been coaching for 11 years, and I somewhat confidently can say I've never coached in the corner with a kid I coached on a team. I mean, I've coached across from him, but never in the same side. So I mean, that was kind of cool moment for me. It was just a wonderful opportunity. Cade is just brilliant. when it comes to things. He'll say something about a situation that I never would have thought of. And, I mean, with that college wrestling experience, he's a wonderful, wonderful role model for these kids.
Very good.
All right. Well, let's transition here. Let's take a look at the Pick'ems standings. Are we getting Mr. Lee Crawford back in here, too? The Pick'ems standings, this comes after last week's picks. The guest pickers are still holding the lead right now. It's pretty jam-packed with everybody, as you can see on the screen there. Guest pickers have 47. Now, I hang out at the number 2 spot with 45. Bruce and Neil are tied at 44, and then Alan has 42. So, again, 47 to 42 is the scoring for all 5 of our spots on the Pick'ems standings. So, it is that time of the show. Let's do some Pick'ems. What are our games this week,
All
Alan?
right, this will be fun here because we got all these wrestlers and some basketball picks. So this will be fun. So our first game is number 2. This is men's basketball. Number 2 Purdue at number 6 Wisconsin.
I'm gonna go the underdog. I'm taking number 6 Wisconsin.
Okay,
What's the spread?
it's got to be tight.
They've got to be tough.
Yeah.
3 points for the home team, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they always figured? Yeah.
I'll take Purdue.
Why am I going for you? Well, I know Wisconsin played at Nebraska, and Nebraska upset them at Nebraska, more than likely because Wisconsin was looking ahead. So I'm going with Wisconsin. Are you? Mm-hmm.
I'm going Purdue. Weeks?
Yeah, I'll go with the underdog. I'll go with Wisconsin.
Badgers.
I'm going Purdue.
Purdue, Zach Edey.
Yeah.
The guy's a giant.
Kind of the big game here today. Number 7 Duke at number 3 North Carolina.
I'm going North Carolina.
Yeah, I'll take UNC for sure.
Where's it at?
North Carolina.
I'll go with North Carolina.
Tar Heels.
Oh, give me the dark horse. Give me Duke.
I'm going to ride Duke.
Yeah, I think I am too. I'm going to go Duke. That's a big battle between them two. Number 5 Tennessee at number 10 Kentucky.
Hey, Alan, I'll take North Carolina. Thanks for thinking of me.
Number 5 Tennessee at number 10 Kentucky. I almost feel like you should be up here with us, Steve.
It'd be hard to be both places.
Tennessee.
Was it Kentucky that was the lower ranked one?
They're the higher
Is
ranked.
John Calipari still coaching there?
Yes.
I'll take Kentucky.
I will take Tennessee.
I'm a big Vols fan, but I got to go with Kentucky on this one.
Yeah, Kentucky.
I had the same question Cade had. I'll go Kentucky.
I'm going to go Kentucky, Steve.
I mean, everybody else is saying Kentucky. I'll say Tennessee. The heck.
Number 12 Iowa State at number 18 Baylor.
The line's 3.5.
Okay.
So
I'm
no Hilton Magic to
I'm
go
going
with
Baylor.
I'm going to keep it in Iowa State.
Go Clones.
Baylor.
Let's go Cyclones.
I'm going to go with Ames.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to go with Iowa State. I think they're playing pretty good ball right now.
Yeah, I'll go Iowa State as well.
Number 4 Houston at number 8 Kansas.
Houston.
Kansas.
I think you got to go Kansas at home.
Kansas.
Yeah, let's go Kansas.
Yep, Kansas.
Kansas. Do it, Steve.
The smart thing would say Kansas, but I'll not be smart, and I'll say Houston.
All right, women's basketball. Penn State at Caitlin Clark.
The Caitlin Clarks.
Iowa.
Iowa, obviously.
I'll take the Fighting Clarks.
Iowa.
Yeah, I'm going with Iowa. Kate Martin's going to do it.
Definitely the Hawks.
Yeah, Hawks all the way.
Iowa.
Then today, Iowa at Maryland, which actually is a pretty big game.
They've played before. Yeah.
Iowa.
Men's basketball, right?
No, this is the women's one.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what did we just
Iowa.
pick? I'm confused.
Well, they play Penn State Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Iowa.
At Maryland,
Yes.
I'll still take Iowa.
Gabby Marshall.
The
what-
Gabby Marshalls.
What's the weather forecast for them? I'll take Iowa.
Yeah, it's the Hawks.
Yeah, I'll take Gabby Martin in her or Gabby Marshall in her eyes.
Maryland's tough. Are they ranked?
Nope.
Really? I'll go with Iowa.
Okay, and then back to men's basketball. Iowa at Penn State. I think that's like next Tuesday or Thursday.
Penn State.
I'm going the Nittany Lions.
At Penn State? Yeah, Penn State.
Penn State.
It's gonna hurt, but yeah, we're going Penn State.
Are you adding in the wrestling?
Penn State.
I hope Penn State takes the basketball and gives up the wrestling is what I'm hoping. But I'm going to take the Hawks in the basketball.
Ooh, yeah, I'm going to go Penn State on this one.
I don't know. What? Any idea what Penn State's record is? Yeah.
I think they're about even, actually.
Okay. I don't know. Iowa's so unpredictable this year. I'll say Iowa. I don't know.
Okay, Sunday, the Pro Bowl games. We got the AFC versus the NFC, and they play different things, and then they finish with a flag football game. But they keep points for the two divisions. So, AFC or NFC?
AFC.
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 NFC.
AFC.
I'm going to go with the AFC also.
I'm an NFC guy.
Do the big games or the big names play in this game? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if
Everybody that
sat out
doesn't
or
make the
not.
Super Bowl.
Okay.
Last night where the centers were snapping for points. Did you see that? They were snapping and they had hit targets.
Really?
Yeah.
It's actually pretty interesting.
Okay. Because I know everybody used to just sit out.
No, not for this one. They do
Okay.
play.
I have no idea. So NFC.
All right, and then our last pick of the day, wrestling. Penn State at Iowa.
Oh, I gotta go Penn State.
Penn State. I mean, they might shut out Iowa.
I have way too many friends that are Hawk fans in wrestling.
That are watching you right now.
That are watching me right now. So go Hawks.
After the showing at Michigan last night, I got to go with Penn State.
Yeah, I'm guessing Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State's the juggernaut right now. They're tough to beat. They've got a team. They've got a team that is might break new records in the national tournament coming up. So I'm going Penn State.
Wrestling club stacked too.
I agree with Cade. Penn State might shut us out. I don't know. And after last night, whew, I don't know. We got some work to do.
It was rough.
Yeah.
My heart says to go with Iowa, but I'm going to go with my brain and say Penn State.
All right, that's our picks for this week, Steve. Guys, thanks everybody for coming in. Appreciate your time, and keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, thank you.
All righty, that'll do it for the sports section here on Steve Shetler Media on a Saturday morning. We thank Brothers Market, as always, for hosting. And again, they're at 118 South Main here in Sigourney. Also, keep in mind you want to download the Brothers Market app. I'm trying to find that information right now. As again, download the Brothers Market app. Take advantage of all the deals there. Their 3-day sale wrapping up today with deals on water, bread, and Coca-Cola. Some of the deals going on here at Brothers Market. We'll be back here next Saturday morning for the Brothers Market, or for the sports section at Brothers Market here in Sigourney. Until then, we'll see you next time.